Hey, John Primos here for WhistleBiz.com. Thanks for joining me again today. Today is part 8 of our LID series, Learning, Improving, and Discovery series. Today we're going to be jumping into the anatomy of an organizational goal. Specifically, we're going to stop calling it organizational goal. We're going to start calling it Hedgehog concept. And this isn't a concept that I came up with. This came from Good to Great. And again, you guys have probably heard me talk about this book a lot. I love it. It's great because it's going to give us a very good base for the components that make up a good organizational goal. Again, or what we're going to call a hedgehog concept. So that's why we're going to be looking at this, and so from now on we're going to refer to it as a hedgehog concept. And we're going to use some other materials, some other resources to be able to talk about how we test our hedgehog concept, how we distribute it, how we make sure that it's what we want, how do we make it more compact, and so forth. But we're going to get to that later. First off, today is about talking about the first component of a good hedgehog concept, and that is the question, what can we be as an organization better than anybody else in the world? Again, what can we do better than anybody else in the world? And that's an interesting question. It does two things for me, for my thinking, right off the bat. It goes straight to the heart of greatness. What can we really be great at? Not necessarily what are we good at, what's core competency. No, what are we really great at? What can we really do better than anybody? Because everything else is just fog. What we want to know, and we just want to get to the heart of how we can be great. What will make us great? What can we do better than anybody? And then the second part of it that's so important is this real interesting concept of curse of competency, where it, again, cuts through the fog of all the things that we're good at, you know, and being okay with just being good at things. Like they say, good is the greatest enemy of greatness. Being good because it's okay, it's good enough, and you're kind of just cruising along, and you're just kind of as good as the rest of the market. But it never takes into account for a transition point that would ignite us, that would make us go triple-fold, you know, quadruple-fold of what the rest of the market's doing. So that's what's so important about being able to separate yourself from just good competency, from just being good. You have to be able to make that delineation, and by saying what are we best in the world at, we make that separation. So that's great. So let's talk about some examples that might be. Maybe our statement would be we will be the best high-end analytics solution provider in the investment banking space, let's say. Or maybe we would say we could be the best workflow management software for interactive marketing companies. Maybe another one would be we will be able to give the best fanatical support for let's say hosting solutions. So what we're doing is we're getting really into the root and very specific about what we can do better than anybody. And there's a couple things that we have to balance here. Number one is, of course, we have to be targeted. Of course, we have to be niche. Of course, we have to be specific. But we also have to be very realistic. We have to be brutally realistic, not deflated, but also very realistic about what we are great at. We need to really understand what we're great at. And what's interesting is, of course, this is great. We're talking about organizational goals, hedgehog concepts and those components, and we're doing that, and that's great, but this can also be a great exercise to go through in a departmental level or a group level within an organization to be able to say, what can we do better than anybody else in this organization? How can we support, how can we bring value, a higher value than anybody else? What do we do that is so vitally important? Something about just enunciating it, just saying that we are X, we are Y, we stand for this, and this is what we know we can do better than anybody. You know, that just fleshes it out, and it brings it and makes it real. So that's that one concept. I just wanted to bring that down to the departmental level as well as how important it is to on a goal level within our organization. What can we be better at than anybody else in the world on an organizational level, and what can we do and how can we serve better than anybody else in our organization? So that's it for today. Please let me know if you have any comments. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much. Bye.